church hurt and religious trauma are real. As a matter of fact, this has happened many times in our churches where people come in, they're searching for hope, they're searching for love, they're searching for acceptance, but they get met with criticism, judgmentalism, and other things that are not of Christ. And the fact of the matter is, sometimes church hurt happens and it's not intentional. Right? And so this is the story of one of the ways that I have been hurt by the church, and one of the reasons why I actually left the church. But as you know, I eventually came back. Check this out. Yeah, that's right. I left the church. As a matter of fact, me, Pastor Wale, wanted nothing to do with the church. As a matter of fact, I can even tell you at one point, I hated the church. I didn't want anything to do with church people. I didn't want to do anything to do with those that smiled in my face or talked about the love of God when I was not feeling that they loved me. As a matter of fact, I remember that I had been out of church for so long, but I remember going back, when your mom visits town, you got to go to church with her. And so I remember she came for a wedding from one of my cousins. And so I decided to go to church with her because I hadn't been in so many years. And I remember that the person that was preaching, one of the elders, he was speaking some true words. He was speaking some words of encouragement. He was speaking some words of hope that permeated into my soul. But one of the things that happened is that I found myself crying. I found myself in tears. My heart was pierced. The word had really uplifted me. And I remember that I went back to the back, when they do the appeal, when they call all the people up. And so they took us into the back. And I remember getting a form, and I checked out that I wanted baptism, I wanted rebaptism, I wanted Bible study. I wanted it all because I felt that God was calling me to him. But the unfortunate part is that within the next couple of days that passed, within the next couple of weeks that passed, I don't know what happened, but I didn't seem to receive a communication back from that church. And that just sent me down a downward spiral because I remember I was dealing with a lot during that time. I was dealing with, feelings of worthlessness. I was dealing with feelings of not being good enough. I was dealing with feelings that I wasn't accomplishing the purpose that I felt that God had for me. I was dealing with just feelings of being like that I was not important or there wasn't much value that I could bring to the world. And so I was at one of the lowest points in my life. And so as I started hearing these words of encouragement, as I started hearing these words of hope, as I started hearing these words of the love that Christ had for me from this elder, I felt that this was the place that I needed to be. This was the community that was going to accept me. And this was the place that God had called me to be. But unfortunately, what a lot of our churches don't understand is that it's very, very important that if we're going to have sermons, if we're going to have appeals, that we need to have ways to make sure that those people that respond to the appeal, that they have a place of safety immediately available for them to grow. So whether that is putting in a system, having the pastor reach out, I know bigger churches is probably harder, one of the pastors reach out, and then having maybe an elder reach out or a ministry leader reach out within a month's plan, make a plan where on Tuesday the pastor reaches out, next week Thursday an elder reaches out, but make some sort of plan so that we can have some continuity when it comes to people that are coming through our doors, because people are coming to our doors broken, they're coming through our doors fragile, they're coming through our doors in all types of vulnerable states, and the last thing they need is to be re-traumatized and reminded by our actions or maybe even our carelessness how much they don't matter. Because the truth of the matter is that they do matter to Christ. They matter to Jesus. Jesus wants them to have a relationship with them, and it's because of our irresponsibility sometimes that some of these people get left and they get lost in translation. And so my prayer for us as a church, as people of God, is to make sure that if we're going to have all these wonderful things in our service, whether it's the amazing music, whether it's the great preaching, whether it's that heartfelt appeal, we have to have systems where people do not fall through the cracks, because people in this generation need to be loved, they need to be accepted, and they need to know that they matter. Once again, my name is WaleAde, and this is Religion and Politics. Go ahead and check out more videos, because we want to empower those who have been hurt by the church. We want to teach churches to know how to not hurt people either intentionally or unintentionally. We want people that have been hurt to join a community to understand that Christ still loves you and Christ still cares for you, even if it seems like his people have rejected you. So once again, thank you so much for watching us, and join us in the next video. I'm coming back home where I started. There you are, and here I am, right where I belong. Right where I belong. You pick me up every time that I fall. The way that you love me, I'm at a loss for words, and I'll never leave. Lord, I'm sincerely yours.